Is former comedian Jimmy Kimmel's end coming for his late night television show? He seems to think so.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to my vidcast StudioJake, where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, the most unfunny late night host, now that Trevor Noah is gone, of course, has hinted that his time as a late night host is coming to an end. And you know what? Good riddance to bad rubbish, right? This was the guy who suggested that Americans who are hesitant about taking the COVID jab should just die on the floor in hospital ERs. This is the guy who cried about a lion no one knew about or cared about. This is the guy who mocked Aaron Rodgers, and when Aaron Rodgers mocked him back, he threw a hissy fit. I'm pretty sure I saw a stain, on his drawers whenever he was doing that, and then threw another hissy fit about when Aaron Rodgers dared to rebut him. This is Jimmy Kimmel. This is so pathetic. He works for ABC, right, which is owned by Disney. ESPN, where Aaron Rodgers kind of poked fun at him, is owned by Disney. Jimmy Kimmel went all the way up to Disney to whine and complain about that. What a loser. Who does that? But anyway, he is hinting that his time at late night might finally for us at least, be coming to an end. All right. So Jimmy Kimmel hints he's exiting late night show. I think this is my final contract. The end could be near for Jimmy Kimmel and his eponymous late night chat show. The Jimmy Kimmel Live host 56 teased a possible finale in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, saying that the time to exit his ABC show could be sometime soon. The talk series first debuted in January 2023 with George Clooney as his first guest ever. And back then he was still funny. Somehow he broke his funny bone. I'm as surprised as anyone that I could be in this position. Even to have a really good job is a surprise to me, the comedian joked to the publication. It's hard to yearn for what you're doing. Wednesday night, I was very tired. Oh, poor thing. You had to work. And I had all of these scripts to go through. I had to revise and rewrite all these pitch ideas for the Oscars. And I was literally nodding off onto my computer. Oh, is work hard? Is work hard? Oh. He added, I think this is my final contract. The funny man is hosting the 2024 Oscars on March 10th, and it is his fourth time as the master of ceremonies of the illustrious show. Okay, I would just like to point out he was a terrible Oscars host. The public outright rejected him. No one liked him, and they keep bringing him back. Why? Because he's a shill for Disney. He's a shill for ABC. He's a shill for ESPN. He's a shill for Big Pharma. That's why they want him back. He was not funny. I watched the Oscars. I know he's not funny at all. His jokes are bland, they're obvious, and all he does is pander to the woke mob on social media. So no, I can't believe they're asking him back. He's been regularly listed on worst host of the Oscars, right after David Letterman, who probably was the worst. But I digress. All I'm trying to say is no one is going to miss this fraud. No one is going to miss Jimmy Kimmel from late night television. He was an embarrassment to greats like Jay Leno and Johnny Carson and Arsenio Hall. And then you've got Jimmy Kimmel, who cries about a lion that no one cared about 5 minutes ago. Jimmy Kimmel didn't know who Cecil the lion was 5 minutes before he walked out on stage. And here he is whining about, oh, I'm going through strips and it's so hard and I'm making pitches to the Oscars. These out of touch celebrities really crack me up. It blows my mind. Oh, I had to work today. I work every day. You think YouTube or Rumble is my main job? No, of course it's not. I have a daytime job, and sometimes my daytime job, like any job, it gets frustrating. But you know what I do? I sit down and I do a good job for the company that I work for. I'm in marketing. I know I flex my marketing chops all the time, but I'm in marketing. It's what I do. But here we have these celebrities. Oh, I only was on one TV show and I only made $3 million from it. Oh, I'm sitting at a desk and I'm writing a script. Oh, yeah, it must be really hard from your high, lofty office at wherever ABC films Jimmy Kimmel Tonight, spare me the whining. Go out and buy a hot dog. But anyway, it's really dumb how these celebrities, they want to whine and moan and complain. If this is Jimmy Kimmel's final contract, it's because his ratings are garbage. He's doing worse than Gutfeld on Fox News. And as the quartering pointed out, people have to pay to watch Greg Gutfeld through cable or through Dish. But with Kimmel, you can just turn on your local ABC station and he'll be on. Guess what? No one's tuning in for him. How embarrassing is that? That people basically have the ability to watch him whenever they want daily, right? Or nightly, I should say. But just don't. Just choose to tune him out. They're watching reruns of Little House on the Prairie on MeTV or something like that. They would rather be doing that than listen to Jimmy Kimmel. Somehow, Stephen Colbert, he still has some goodwill from when he was on The Daily Show and when he did the Colbert Report. So his ratings are okay, but still nowhere near to when even Letterman was hosting it. And at the end, Letterman had become a snooze fest. Again, all he did was pander to one side of the political aisle. He didn't make fun of anyone who didn't have a D next to their name. And the same is true of Kimmel. He wants to cry about lions in Africa. He wants to say that people who had hesitancy about the jab, they should die on ER floors. He wants to throw hissy fits about Aaron Rodgers poking fun at him, but whatever. It's like I said, it's such a shame. Late night TV used to be something that Americans could come together for, right? It used to be everyone got together to watch these comedians make us laugh. And now it's not the case anymore. If I was to say who is the funniest out of the current crop, it's tough. And I'm not talking about on cable. I'm talking about just on local stations. Probably Fallon is the funniest, but I don't even really watch him. Every once in a while I will if he interviews an actor that I like or something like that. But even he has become milk toast from when he first started doing his stuff. He's become really lame and over time, and the same is true of Kimmel. What is even more funny to me is, now I will admit I got some chuckles out of this. So Kimmel did this thing where um, George Santos, he was a congressman. He was forced out, even though he hasn't been found guilty of anything. He was forced out of Congress, so he started a Cameo. Now, what Cameo is you can pay for a celebrity to send you a message, and they bought a bunch of them and ended up and would give him like these really crazy scenarios, and they did this and Kimmel showed them on his show. So George Santos is suing him because Kimmel did mark them as personal videos, not commercial. So they, according to what George Santos would think, they would have just been used privately, but instead Kimmel aired them commercially. So George Santos is suing them for fraud. Now, George Santos might have known that something was up. Again, as the quartering points out, might have known that something was up had it not been marked personal. If it had been marked commercial, he might have gone, is someone trying to prank me here? Personally, I would love to see Jimmy Kimmel lose out on this case, or at least get a chunk taken from him in a settlement. Because as much as I don't like George Santos, I think that what happened to him was ridiculous. There are actual criminals in Congress right now, like Ilhan Omar, who married her brother, and Bob Menendez, who has frequently been found guilty of ethics violations. He's still in the Senate. So George Santos, as disreputable as he hasn't been found guilty of any crimes, but they expelled him, and the Republicans clapped like train seals along with their Democrat friends. And, now they don't have a voice in Congress because of that. It's absolutely absurd. But I digress on that. With Kimmel, if this is his final contract, I also hope it's the last time he hosts the Oscars, because he's a terrible host. They should stop having him back. They should get real comedians like JP Sears or Lou Perez or Josh Denny or Ricky Gervais. They should have, or the Hodge twins. Could you imagine the Hodge twins hosting the Oscars? Oh my gosh, it would be on fire. They should get some of those guys to host the Oscars, because they're actually funny. Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny. He hasn't been funny in years, since he left the Man Show and started to pander to, Disney's DEI inclusion standards, which Disney is being sued over, by the way. However it turns out. Goodbye, Jimmy Kimmel. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die